Hello, everyone. Thank you for dropping by to check out this demonstration. My name is Saul. I am the creator of this web application project called Iris. Iris was inspired by the COVID-19 pandemic that broke out just as I completed my software engineering training and started looking for a job as a software engineer. While the economy was shut down and many companies implemented hiring freezes, I thought this would be a good opportunity to both continue my education, learn new skills, and hopefully provide something that could be useful to the community. In this demonstration, we'll go through the basic functionality of the site and the user experience. This demonstration will have some technical vocabulary, as I'd expect at least some of the audience will be technically inclined, but I hope it can be useful to anyone. So let's dive in. First, I want to show you that the application is deployed on Heroku. And so as I refresh here, you'll see that the domain loaded here on the address bar is herokuapp.com. The application was built on Node.js, Mongo. It was used for data persistence, and Express and React.js serve at the front end. There are two main sections. This navbar you see here, and the remainder of this window area here is where the React components are rendered. All components are functional. I used Redux for state management. And you'll see here in this section that I have Redux DevTools open. This is just to show you, give you an idea of what's going on in the state. This navbar is stateful, and it will render different things, react, and behave differently depending on what's going on in the state. So I'll point that out throughout this demonstration. First, I kind of want to take a look at the About page here. Here, I give a quick explanation of the inspiration of the name Iris, which happens to be the name of a goddess in Greek mythology that was principally associated with communication of messages and prayers and was said to have traveled on rainbows. And so that's the inspiration of the rainbow logo and the colors. Also, I have various links to my LinkedIn portfolio, my GitHub profile page, which has also links to the repository of the project should you be curious to dive deeper into the code and the technical details of the projects. You can do so here. And also my portfolio page, which has other projects that I've created, my resume, contact information, in case you'd like to drop me a line. Also my LinkedIn profile, which I check regularly. So if you have any communication needs, you can avail yourself of those resources. Also, I have here a list of features that you might expect in a basic site that I have not worked on yet, as this is an MVP that I've deployed, and certain features I do intend to work on in the future but do not currently exist. So let's dive into the further details of the project. Like I said, this application and particularly this navbar does respond to state. And so currently, so we take a look here in the state, no one is authenticated right now. And so this area of the navbar, because of that, will always redirect to the home page. But that will also change as I log in or register a new user. So let's do that now. Here is where the user can register and create a new account. I have throughout the application various alerts that will guide the user to how to appropriately use the site. So for instance, let's say we register a user, or a user tries to register, and let's call him John Doe. And so John forgets to put in his last name, for instance, and his email, and tries to register. You'll see here that the alert of last name required and the valid email is also required. These alerts have a time of about 5 seconds, and after that they remove. I also have front-end type of alerts to guide the user. So if a user tries to sign in with an obvious non-email, for instance, this front-end alert is provided. So let's go ahead and actually try to register John Doe here. Let's give him an email of john@gmail.com. This site uses Gravatar for profile pictures. I use the Gravatar API to just grab whatever pictures associated with that Gravatar email. One of the things I do intend to work on in the future is to allow users to upload their own profiles, pictures, but for now, I'm just going to be using Gravatar. So let's go ahead and finish registering here. And so now that John successfully registered here, we see that I have this token returned to me that is through JWT. And as a first-time user, I do not have a profile set up. This is the home page. So now that I have an authenticated user, if I navigate outside of that page and go back through this link, instead of going to the landing page, I go into the home page. And so this user is brand new, so if they go to post, I can see other people's posts, but obviously I don't have any posts. So let's first go ahead and start creating a profile here. Have the fields through this profile form that the users can then input on themselves. I have set up the ability for users to provide an email address that is not associated with their account in the event that they would like people to communicate with them through another email. But I'm going to go ahead and use John's Gmail email. I'm going to say he's in Austin, Texas. I'm going to say he's 7870. Let's say 78702, which I think is downtown. Let's make believe that our friend John here is an accountant in the oil industry. Why not? And so this field, which is the open for requests field, is what the application uses to display the profiles of the people that are open to help other people. And so let's initially say that John is open to help others, and let's say he's open to help people with things like grocery shopping and let's say yard work. I also have the option here so that users can input their social networks. And so let's say that John is going to input his LinkedIn account. LinkedIn.com/ let's call him John. Let's go ahead and give him a Twitter profile as well. Just change that to John, and we click submit. And so on submit, If the profile has been successfully created, that alert is triggered and later removed. Now that John has a profile, this home page now has additional actions that he can avail himself of. So he can now view his profile, and because this user's is the one that is authenticated, he has access to this edit profile link. So here's John's information. Because he only provided a Twitter and LinkedIn account information for his URL, those are the only icons that show up. But of course, if he provided more, those would show up as well. That's John's email and the things that he said about himself and what he can work or help you with. So because John said that he was able to help, he shows up here on the list of all the people that are helping. So if we look at my profile, for instance, because John is not me, this is not his profile, that edit button is not there. But if it is his own profile, then that edit button does show up. So let's say that John now lives in, let's call Los Angeles. Actually, I don't know any zip codes in LA. So let's say New York. Makes more sense. So let's say he's in New York, and then 1012, submit, profile updated alert it shows up, and now if he goes back and views his profile, it shows up that now he's in New York. All right. If we go back to the home page and the user wants to see his post, obviously John, who we just created, has no post, so we can submit his first one here. So we could say something like, hello, everyone. On submit, alert triggered, and then removed. And now, of course, this page shows of the post that this user, John Doe, has submitted. And because, and only because, this particular post is related and attached to this user, is that this delete post button shows up. Users have the ability to like their own post. They can only like their posts once. If they continue to try to like their posts, they receive this post error. They can remove a like, well, that's an update there, but if they try to dislike more, they can't. Can only really add or unlike something. You can comment on your own post. Let's say John, and John has commented on his own post here. And again, because this is John's post and his own comment, he can also delete his own comment on his own post. If we go to other posts, for instance, let's say one from Camille, for instance, and he can also like this post or remove this like, but only one time. Say he likes this post, and here he can comment on other people's posts as well, but of course can only delete his own post or his own only comment. So let's say he says this on this, he says this comment on this post, that comment appears to this post, but he can only delete his own comments. So in the people helping page is where users can look for any potential help. Right now, again, this is an MVP site, and so not a lot of users, but what I expect can happen would be that users can then search for people to help them based on where they live, so their city, maybe their zip code, or based on the activities that they need help with. Users can have, I would expect, two types of behavior. Ones are the ones that people providing help, while others are those seeking help. And so, for instance, if you're a user that is there really seeking help, you may not want to appear on this list. And so, let's say John now maybe doesn't have enough time to help. He can then say no and submit that. Now his profile has been updated, and he can still be part of the site, but won't show up now in the list of users providing help. And again, because he is the authenticated user that is in, the nav bar now does not show sign in or register, just the log out button. And so on log out, this now changes to log in. The JWT token is removed, and you can still see the profiles, but the posts are no longer visible to inauthenticated users. You have to be signed in to actually see posts, comment on posts, to create posts, but you can still look at profiles. You can still see what people can help with, but you cannot post or comment. And now that there is no user logged in, this part of the nav bar now redirects to the landing page. So that is about it for this demonstration. Once again, thank you for taking the time to check it out. Please feel free to contact me on those links provided on the About page if you have any questions, comments, or concerns. Thank you.